Well, good Sunday morning to everybody. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday morning. I'm trying to. Hey, Greg, how are you? Yeah, I don't know if you saw my title and everything. I got. Hey, Ponka, how are you? Yeah, we're up and at it this Sunday morning, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if you guys saw my title. Um, you know, looking at all my notifications and everything there. It's telling me which trucks I got to get fixed. Uh, I was doing. Hey, Philip, how are you? Yeah, I got your information that you sent me and everything, and I actually talked to RBT about you and everything, and he didn't realize you had left. But um, we're going to pursue that on Monday and see if we can get some information about that. So we'll, on a personal note for you, I'm going to try to see what we can come up with. See if we can put you to driving if we can. But the other part, like I was saying, I don't know if you saw my title and everything. I was doing cement work this week, and I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I got a little red mark right there still. Um, I was I was doing cement work. I was tearing up some old cement, going in and out of my woods behind my or in front of my house, and I was in my enclosed T300, which normally I'd run it with the air conditioner. I had, and my side windows would be closed. Well, unfortunately, the AC needed some Freon in it, and so I was running it without AC. Well, I'm moseying in and out and in and out, not thinking anything about it, and I ran across a yellow jacket's nest and did not realize it until they were already swarming inside my cab. Well, I had a load of cement when I seen broken cement and everything on in the bucket, and the I've got an enclosed cab with the bar that comes down over top of me. That seatbelt, everything, and the doors closed and all that. And I started getting stung by these yellow jackets. Well, like I said, it popped me on the face right here, and the top of my head is what they got me first. I had a mesh hat, unlike this one here. But first thing I noticed was, man, my head was getting stung, and I go, whoa, what the heck is that? So I jerked my hat off and started batting it, around my head and everything to get that. And then I was trying to get out of the cab because I knew where it was, so I had to go forward a little bit to get away from the yellow jacket's nest because I had run over that yellow jacket's nest. So I found myself in a pretty wild predicament there. Then plus, stopping the machine, making sure I don't hurt myself getting out of the machine and everything else like that. So I had a little bit of a dilemma there going forward with that. And like I said, I still got looks like a pimple or something right there, but that's a yellow jacket sting right there on my cheek, and it had my cheek swollen up pretty good right there. And fortunately, I don't have to use an EpiPen or anything like that. Had it been my brother-in-law, now he would have had to immediately got an EpiPen and given himself some of that venom or not venom or anti-venom or whatever it is, because it'll kill him. I mean, he would literally die from it. Yeah, I got my exercise big time because I was trying my best to get out of the machine. I mean, it was it's aggravating when you got that happening and everything. I mean, you're hung in there a little bit because it's not like just stopping a tractor and jumping off, because I mean, I'm sitting down in the machine, if you know what a bobcat, and it's saying mine has a front door on it too. And you got to make sure to get the bucket down to get the front door open. So you can't just jump out the front door. So you had to go through all the procedures. You had to pull up, make sure to I had the cement up there. I didn't want to just throw it everywhere. So I got it down, got the bucket down, got my seat belt off, the arms that come down over me, got that up, then jump out. And, I'm an old man, so I'm not 18 years old again, so I can't jump out of these machines that quick. So that's the way it goes. But that was my exciting part, I guess, this week. And the rest of it, I was just, we were doing cement. We poured about 30 yards of cement. Yeah, I was trapped. Yeah, EpiPen, yeah, or epinephrine. Yeah, that's what my brother-in-law has to take when he has a bee sting or anything like that, because it literally can kill him. He has to, when he's out working outside, he has to keep one of those EpiPens nearby, because he definitely could get killed from it. He's had an occasion where his throat swelled shut and almost couldn't breathe, and that sort of stuff. So it can be a very dangerous situation. But luckily for me, I'm not that allergic. I told my wife, I said, I got stung a couple of times on top of my head. My top of my head, I've got bumps on it where I got stung like this one. And I told my wife, I said, it'd be great if something sort of like Spider-Man, if something bit me up there like that and my hair started growing back, I'd have me a pretty neat story to tell. But I don't know if that happens, I'll let y'all guys know, and then you can go get your own yellow jackets to sting the top of your head. But just a weird thought that I had running through my head. I said, yeah, I guess I've watched Spider-Man and some of these other things too much, where the spider bites the guy and he gets all kind of powers. All I would be interested is to get stung in the head and get my hair back. That would be cool. But I just had that thought. I hope everybody's week's been going good. We've not had too eventful. I'm trying to think. We have gotten a couple trucks out on the trucking end. The trucks are running good as normal. I mean, I've had a couple of these regens. We're finding out the problems that we need to watch on these regen trucks. The regen trucks are it's sort of like everything else. We've got so many of them now, and we've got some that are in the age bracket that you might say start giving trouble on that regen stuff, and we're seeing what we're needing to do, unfortunately, and that's costly. We replaced a manifold off of the regen on one of the trucks this week and solved a problem that we think might help us on another truck that we have a regen problem. So, we learned it, and there are a lot of sensors. That's a sad thing about this stuff. The more the government makes them put on these trucks, the more sensors that they put on it, the more opportunity there is to mess up something on a truck. I know Jim and Larry have been working real hard trying to get all this, and we put it on the computer. And you have to excuse me, I got to take a drink break here, get my Mountain Dew in here, clear my throat a little bit. But we need to, like I said, get educated more and more with that. And by having these issues, we kind of test our ability to the max, figuring these things out. And fortunately, I've got some help from Detroit on that, you might say, that's helping me out. And the DD15 motors is what I'm probably going to stick to. Everything I'm researching, that one seems to be the best with all these emissions and everything, from what I'm gathering. I've checked a couple of different things, and you never know. I mean, some of them got the Packard motor and the Cummins motor, and a few others have had a little bit different issues than I have, and I'm trying to isolate any kind of issue that I've got like that. So we're trying to educate ourselves, because it's an education process with these regen motors. So that being said, I mean, hopefully we'll be better with these as we progress into the mechanic part. It used to be with all the others, I have a lot of 60. Philip, you take care and everything. You get on the road. I'll be calling you Monday or Tuesday, and we'll see where we stand on your qualifications and everything, Philip. You still may have to complete that full year on that, even though you were in the system. But I'll see what they say within the system, because you may have qualified somewhat with them. I don't know. We'll have to revisit that. But you keep trucking, and I'll get back in touch with you pretty soon, and we'll see where we stand on some stuff. All right, we'll see you, Philip. But as we go forward, like I said, on these trucks, I feel like we're getting better and better with the dilemma of having to resolve some of these problems with the emissions. Now, it's sort of sad that the government has brought that upon us, because it's a whole new set of problems. I mean, it used to be that the problems were just, were apparent with, turbos and your turbos, your radiators, your hoses, your belts, and all that sort of stuff. That was your problems. And, now that they've thrown that on the combustion engine, it just complicates a lot of things. I mean, I've researched a lot of other things too. I tell you, when they come up with a Tesla truck or some of these other trucks, I just about wish I could get some of those, because it really is. We have got so many sensors on these trucks now that it really is a problem when we can't solve some of these things easily. And the government is really, that throws a whammy on us. And plus, FedEx themselves, they throw all these new regulations and everything. We've got to have any truck that I put on within the next few years, I've got to have this collision avoidance system put on every truck. And they're making me retroactively put on some of the trucks that will take it. And then the ones that won't take it, I got to pull out of the system. I've got 3 trucks. Hopefully, I'll be able to retroactively put that collision avoidance system on those trucks. And if I can't get that on there, we have to basically just pull them out of the system. They can no longer be used in FedEx's system by 2024. So I'm signing I just signed my 2020 contract. So I have 4 years from today, 4 years from right now, to get all these trucks updated and changed. And so it's going to be a task to be able to do all that. What's up with y'all guys out there today? I hadn't seen much information yet. Just go ahead and tell me what's going on. I'd like to hear from y'all too, and what y'all got going on. So if you've got something going on, give me a chat. Jump on the chat there and tell me what you got going. Hopefully, you got rain, have you? Well, we didn't have rain, but we've got cool temperatures here. Let me set up a little bit. We've got cool temperatures. Let me see if I can kick that down. It was didn't get out of the 60s here, only for about, I think they said, for 30 minutes. I think in a couple of spots it got up to about maybe 70 degrees yesterday. Now today it's cool again today, overcast and cool out here today. We went from Friday, it was 92 degrees, 92, 93 degrees. And we had like a 20 or 25 degree drop. Yeah. Well, it's been hot out here, that's for sure. It's been very hot, and muggy and everything else. And now it's almost like we jumped from the middle of summer to the middle of fall. That's how dramatic it was yesterday. I mean, we dropped 25 degrees overnight. I mean, the high in some places, I don't know if it even made it 270 here. I think some areas it didn't even make it out of that. I'm checking a few messages and everything at the same time here. I got some dings. I guess you heard them on the phone there, but you know that in itself. Uh, uh, but well, hi Ryan, how are you? Okay, you're buying some FedEx routes. Oh, you got your grandson's birthday party today, do you, Greg? Okay. How old's your grandson going to be? So you're currently buying routes with my former boss from Maine into Brockton. Okay. Oh, he's going to be 7. Yeah. I only have one grandchild. I got a grandson. He's 14, and he's a senior. I'm not senior. Going into senior high school. He's going to high school starting tomorrow. No, I don't have them all. I've got my fair share, but I don't have them all, Ryan. Now, what's the name of your company, Ryan? I I always like to keep up with that. I know a bunch of them, and so now are you based? You're based in Massachusetts and everything. I hope. Yeah, that's yeah, it's a good profession and everything. I hope you got them at a good deal and everything. Because line haul runs usually cost anywhere from 125,000 to 200 a piece. Depends on the mileage and everything. That's what I've seen. That's usually what I see them going for, is around that. So if you bought those and you got them under, see, how many did you say you bought? Let me go back there. Oh, you didn't say. Uh, yeah, but usually that's what I've seen the rates go at, about 125 to 200. Oh, okay. You're going to Rickwood Caverns. Has all them in. Okay, well that's good. Good, Greg. It's good to sometimes not have the parties right at your location, because that way you don't have to do all the cleanup and everything. We've got a back to school party. My daughter-in-law wanted to have a back to school party for my grandson this afternoon because he is going into high school, and the today's youth, they get pampered with that kind of stuff. I guess they. Okay, Brooks, where? Okay, that's great. And you're able to buy just one route. It used to be they made you have at least two. All right, I didn't know they would let you buy. Yeah, I I thought they would turn you down if you didn't have two, buy at least two routes. I don't know. I haven't heard of them letting them, that because FedEx is wanting to get rid of all the single operation. They put a mandate out, I think, that we had to, if either you got another second route or something a couple of years ago. I didn't know anybody had just singles out there anymore. because I noticed we were looking in Transport Topics and Heavy Duty Magazine, and they were talking about, they got into the big court battle in California with owner operator type situations, and California being so ultra liberal and everything else, they sided with the guys and everything out there, and they had to change the rules and regulations. And I was noticing that California is trying to pass another law that prevents anybody as an owner operator having just one truck. So this doesn't really apply to FedEx because they've already gone past that threshold. But it looks like that California is trying to push all owner operators out of the business unless you have more than one truck. So the state of California is crazy. I would not want to operate anything in the state of California with that carb emissions thing they have out there. They have put people out of bit. I've gone on several YouTube videos and a few things where people were in the courts. It showed the court proceedings and everything, and they were fighting that carb initiative out there in California, and they basically were just putting people out of business. I mean, and then they were trying to make them retroactive on their emissions and put all this crap on the older trucks, and they did that, and a couple of them burn up, and just all kind of crazy things, and ruined their trucks. And if they didn't ruin the equipment they had, they ran them out of business. I saw where one guy his family had been in the logging business. Gosh, I want to say over 100 years out there in California. And because of all the emissions and that they had to put on their equipment and their trucks and everything else, it basically put them out of business. I mean, it was going to take over $1 million retrofit just to get them up to California standards. And that is so bizarre. I just can't say anything good about California right now in my mind. I don't know if anybody's out there from California or in California, but California, they are. California is anti-business, and they say that if you try to even put a business, they say like if it's a McDonald's or Wendy's or Chick-fil-A or any kind of restaurant or anything like that, it can take up to a year to get all your permits in order to even start getting a business started out there. And then the regulations and everything else are so tight that it's astronomical building. I've heard it's like 4 and 5, 6, 7 times more expensive out there to even start than it is here. And I've heard them, I heard a couple of them talking about that, by the time they just get all their permits, a general business out there sometimes has $150,000, $200,000 in permit fees, which is ridiculous. It just to have that much regulation that it would cost you. The average guy can't do it. I mean, average Joe. I mean, if you got an idea, you better do it out of your garage because you can't afford to build a building or start any storefront out there for sure. And it is just totally off the cliff, you might say. I don't know. I mean, I don't know firsthand. I mean, I'm just going by the reports that I've read, and you don't know how much is embellished or whatever, but it can't be embellished too bad because I keep seeing a lot of it out there and seeing all the different complaints and it's just not business friendly, not for the small business anyway. And they're talking about there's a lot of flight away from even businesses are moving their businesses to Texas and moving their business to Colorado and places like that, just away from California. And I don't know, it's something. Yeah, it's California ain't the place to be. I mean, if you're young like me, young as me, or when I was young, it used to be, the Beverly Hillbillies, and that was their in their theme song. And it says, tells Jed to move away from Tennessee and out to California because California is the place to be. Well, they better move back to Tennessee because California ain't the place to be. And you know, they might have a few stars and a few things like that, but I could care less. I could care less. I'm the point in my life that I could care less about any musical stars, movie stars, or anybody like that. They're just a person, in my opinion. That their occupation is different than mine. Their occupation is to do videos, and hey, I'm doing videos for free. I'm out here doing videos for free right now. Not getting paid a thing. So yeah. Well, I hear some noise out back. I don't know if somebody's driving up or driving around, but uh, yeah, I'm not a big proponent or big uh, cheerleader, I guess, for California, because California, between California and New York, those two areas, or New York City, I won't say New York, because I got a lot of friends outside of excuse me, New York. New York State's fine. New York City, we got New York City, that we got a lot of crazies in that, and then California. And of course, California, you know, they got some rural areas that actually are decent, I guess you might say. But these people that flock to these big cities like San Francisco and and LA and Sacramento and all that, they have ruined their cities from what you're seeing out there now. They got homeless people all over the place, and what used to be real pretty cities now looks like a third world country almost. So I guess they can deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it at all. Well, guys, I'm going to get off of here, and I've got some things to do this morning. Y'all try not to get stung with yellow jackets like me, and hopefully everything will be better next week. And I'll see y'all later.